Hello everyone, TWK here, and welcome to my review of the Nintendo 64 classic Snowboard Kids 2. Believe it or not, this is the first N64 video game review I've done since Mystical Ninja starring Goemon all the way back in episode 1. That is far too long, so here we are with this gem of a gem. The basic gameplay of SK2 should be familiar to anyone who has played a snowboarding game of any type, which were quite common in the late 90s / early 2000s. A is your jump button, which you'll also use to get a good starting boost and perform tricks. By doing said tricks, you'll earn money that you can use at the board shop, but more importantly, the shops on the course. Yeah, these item drops cost money, and if you're broke, you get nothing! Good day, sir or madam! Items are broken up into two boxes, red and blue. Red items are offensive, while blue items are more support style. For example, the red box you'll find snowmen, glaciers, bombs, and parachutes, while the blue box will contain rockets, pans, and ghosts. The amount of variety in terms of the item's abilities really put Mario Kart to shame. For example, bombs will create an explosion that can also harm the offending player, and the glacier can be bumped into. On top of that, some weapons bounce around while others shatter after being launched and hitting a wall. Each racer also has their own stats, which can be viewed in Wendy's Internet Cafe. Remember when those were a thing? Yeah, this was made back when pagers were the popular communication tool. I know this because I was there. The character designs are another thing that make SK2 stand out instantly. It's got that 90s anime aesthetic crossed with exaggerated facial features, and I absolutely love it. You can easily tell each character apart even from a distance, and that's what you call great character design. One of the other things that will separate this title from other snowboarding games, aside from the Mario Kart inspired items, are the courses. First up is Sunny Mountain. This is the most typical of courses to be found in the game. It's a downhill race located on a snowy terrain. Nothing special, but at the very least, the theme bangs hard. Next is Turtle Island, and on top of the warmer setting, we've also got new outfits for everyone. Just to drive the wacky nature of this game home, most of this race is underwater! After that, we've got Jingle Town. Man, now I wish I would have reviewed this game closer to the holiday season. Anyways, we're back to a winter theme, but with festive decorations galore. After this, we have our first boss encounter, a giant snowman. Unlike our previous races, all we have to do here is launch a bunch of bombs at him, and boom, Bob's your uncle. Easy peasy lemon squeeze something or other. Oh, and props for saying the boss fight at night. Really like that small change. Following that, it's Wendy's house. Yeah, homegirl just up and shrunk everyone, herself included, and now we're having a race right through her home. Only in the mind of a child could this be acceptable, and yes, the piano does make a noise every time you jump on it. Once again, you've got to appreciate the little details. Staying on the topic of character-themed levels, up next is Linda's castle, which should tell you how obscenely rich her family must be. Like, seriously, she has an entire crowd cheering her on at the end, just hilariously, obnoxiously wealthy. While we're here, I may as well talk about the lift mechanic. It's the reason why there's 3 laps instead of just 1 downhill sprint. The best part is that only one person can use it at a time, and there's a delay in actually getting on the lift, which can act as one hell of an equalizer. Once again, little details, love them. One level I don't particularly love is Crazy Jungle. It's just a prototypical jungle level. It does have a nice waterfall section, but it really lacks the character of the other levels. I can't help but feel like it was destined to fail following the imaginative Wendy's house and Linda's castle. But it also had to come after those because it's the home of our second boss fight, and this time we're doing a 1-lap race against the cutest fucking heck T-Rex. As long as you grab all the speed boosters that are on the track, then you should do absolutely fine here. Up next is my personal favorite level in the entire game, Starlight Highway, aka Snowboarding in Space! Everything from the space station, to the planetary rings, to the asteroid, to the warp speed looking area, to the teleportation lift, it's all just perfect! Hook this level into my veins! For the last of our regular levels, it's Haunted House, which is exactly what it says on the tin. So we're at least getting close to Halloween, somewhat timely I guess. Not too much to say except that it conveys its spookiness rather well. On top of the regular courses, there are also 3 challenges. First is the trick game, where you must score at least 300 points. This can be a bit of a challenge, but once you get the hang of performing 2 to 3 spins or flips per jump, you'll have this won in no time flat. Also, be sure to get to the finish line before the time limit runs out. Next is Shoot Cross, aka newspaper delivery. Your goal is to shoot a newspaper into every mailbox. If this sounds like bullshit, it's only because it absolutely is. Snowboard Kids 2 is good at a few things, but accurately shooting things, not exactly one of them. On the brightest of notes, we have Speed Cross, aka the same course as Shoot Cross, but now we're going directly for a time attack, with the premise being that whichever racer you picked missed the school bus, which I think we've all done once or twice in our youths, yeah? Thankfully, we have the power of rocket propulsion to guide us to our destination. Much like the TRX boss fight, as long as you get damn near every speed boost that you can, you'll make it to the end with little to no problems. One thing that has to be noted about this game is the soundtrack. This might be one of the more underrated video game OSTs I've ever heard on the N64 or possibly ever. It has that upbeat synth that'll just get stuck in your head for days on end. You know what? It's better that you hear it for yourself. Another thing that keeps this game memorable are the short but sweet cutscenes that play out before and after every race. There's no full dialogue outside the sound bites, but they're really not needed as everything is conveyed so perfectly. One running gag throughout the game is a demon by the name of Damien constantly trying to make the kids' lives a living hell, but always getting what he deserves in the end in a very poetic way. And if you've ever wanted to see this game on automatically win mode, then all you have to do is either unlock, or in my case, use cheats to get the Dragon Board, aka a non-stop rocket-propelled middle finger to your opponents. And that's Snowboard Kids 2! While not containing the most amount of content, what here is filled with character. Sure, you can clear everything out in an afternoon, but a lot of N64 games were like that, so you really can't hold that against Snowboard Kids 2. If there's one game series outside the Goemon games that I'd like to see on the Switch's N64 online service, it's Snowboard Kids. The downside is this was published by Atlus, aka please buy Persona 5 3 times at full price, Atlus. Nevertheless, this game rules, and if you can play it, do it even through emulation. Hashtag piracy is correct. As for what's next, how about another Nintendo game? How about that? Sound good? Groovy.